In the middle of the Bay of Bengal, there is an island that almost no outsider has ever set foot on. It is small, about the size of Manhattan, covered in dense emerald forest, and ringed by white sand beaches that look like paradise. And yet no tourist has ever sunbathed there. No hotel has ever been built. No road has ever been carved through its jungle. This is North Sentinel Island, home to the most isolated people on Earth. The Sentinelese have lived here for tens of thousands of years, and they have made one thing absolutely clear. They want to be left alone. Anyone who tries to land on their shores is met with a wall of arrows. The Indian government has made it illegal to travel within 5 kilometers of the coastline. Even flying low over the island is forbidden. This is the story of the island that the modern world is not allowed to touch, and the remarkable people who have kept it that way. Nobody knows exactly how many people live on North Sentinel. Estimates range from 50 to 200. What we do know is astonishing. The Sentinelese are believed to be direct descendants of some of the first humans who left Africa, which means their ancestors arrived here as long as 60,000 years ago. While empires rose and fell, while writing, agriculture, and cities were invented, the Sentinelese lived on, hunting, fishing, and gathering in their forest world. They build small canoes to fish the shallow lagoons. They hunt with bows of remarkable power and accuracy. And unlike almost every other society on the planet, they appear to have no interest whatsoever in what the rest of us are doing. To this day, no outsider speaks their language. No one knows what they call themselves. The name Sentinelese is simply the label the outside world gave to people it has never been able to meet. The outside world has tried to make contact, and the history of those attempts is dark. In 1880, a British colonial officer named Maurice Portman landed on the island and kidnapped 6 islanders, an elderly couple and 4 children. The adults quickly became sick and died, and the children were returned to the island with gifts. Nobody knows what diseases they carried back with them. A century later, India tried a gentler approach. Through the 1970s and 80s, anthropologists ran so-called contact expeditions, leaving coconuts, bananas, and metal tools on the beaches. Sometimes the islanders accepted the gifts. More often, they answered with arrows. In 1991, a team finally managed a peaceful meeting in the shallows, handing over coconuts directly. But the breakthrough led nowhere. The Sentinelese soon made it clear, once again, that visitors were not welcome. Then came the morning of December 26, 2004, when one of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded tore through the Indian Ocean. The tsunami that followed killed nearly 250,000 people. North Sentinel sat close to the epicenter, and many feared its people had been wiped out. Days later, an Indian Coast Guard helicopter flew over the island to check for survivors. As it hovered above the beach, a lone Sentinelese man stepped out of the forest, raised his bow, and fired an arrow at the aircraft. The photograph of that moment became famous around the world. The message could not have been clearer. We are alive, and we still want nothing from you. In 2018, an American missionary named John Allen Chow ignored every warning and paid fishermen to bring him to the island illegally. He did not survive. His body was never recovered. Today, India treats North Sentinel as a sovereign space inside its own borders. Naval patrols guard the surrounding waters, and the law is strict. No one gets in for any reason. Some people call this a failure of exploration, but scientists say it is the opposite. It is protection. After 60,000 years of isolation, the Sentinelese have no immunity to the diseases we carry. A single friendly handshake could trigger an epidemic and erase an entire civilization. Their hostility is not savagery. It is survival, and history proves they are right to be cautious. So the island remains what it has always been, a green dot in a blue ocean, holding a way of life older than every city on Earth. Perhaps the most respectful thing the modern world can do is also the simplest. Stay away. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more journeys to the world's most extraordinary places.